What's going on, guys? No guys here. Welcome back to another video. A very interesting video, should I say, today. I think I was just debating about loot boxes. So this is actually very interesting. Video game loot boxes, well in the UK anyway, are gambling and should be regulated, says the House of Lords. Something that's very interesting. Obviously a topic that we've all been delving into, all had our say. Many of us are against FIFA points, myself included. I'm not against FIFA points per se. But I'm against how it works. In my opinion, they should have FIFA points, but at this day and age, every single game has in-game purchases, so it's basically the same thing. And what's interesting here is, I'll read out to you maybe just in case you're watching this, listening to this as a podcast. Purchasing loot boxes in video games is equivalent to gambling, according to the House Laws Committee, which recommends that a controversial product should be regulated under the Gambling Act, which I also agree with. I think that is true. Loot boxes can be purchased in many games, including those popular with younger players such as FIFA, and often randomised rewards, some of which will be worth far more than the cost of the purchase itself. The way the purchase offer mystery in-game rewards, or EA would like to call surprise mechanics, to players means that they should be classified as gambling according to a new report by the House of Lords Gambling Committee. The committee called for government to act immediately to bring loot boxes within the remit of gambling legislation and regulation. Now, in my opinion, I don't know if it will go through, because I think what EA will argue is that they're telling you what you're getting. They're telling you it's a 1% chance of packing X player. Now, although it could be 0.001%, it could also be 0.1%. So, in theory, they're not lying. I think if they just word it a bit differently, I think they'll probably get around this. Globally, the market for loot boxes and games estimated to be worth 20 billion. The UK market is worth like 700 million. In the case of the football game FIFA made by EA, one of the UK's top-selling franchises, the trading card-style packets can be bought with either real money or digital currency earned by playing. But some players have moved them after intervention from governments. Fortnite got rid of its version of loot boxes last year after Belgium and Netherlands declared them to be illegal gambling. Now, what do EA do if it was them? Just have a season pass. Literally, if they release a season pass where you get packs within that season pass, they would make more money than actual FIFA points. I really think they would. Because if they had like a season objective style for like a season battle pass like Fortnite does, players like myself who doesn't spend money in the game will feel more inclined to buy it. Because that season pass would be fractionally less. And EA will probably give you a good deal. There's like, you get this, you get fitness cards, some loan cards, some icon loan cards. So you know what? EA could actually make more money here. Maybe it's debatable on whether it'll make the same amount. But I think, yes, they'll lose a couple of hardcore players that spend loads of money. But I think, you know what? They'll make more money with the masses. Also, largely, the Royal Society of Public Health published a report revealing that young people felt addicted to purchasing items. I think, no, young people, that's older people as well. The RSPH found that a majority of people see both purchasing a loot box 50% and taking part in skin betting as form highly addicted to gambling. This is obviously more prevalent in the CS:GO community with skin betting. It's quite prominent for a lot of people on CS:GO to play it. Children spend £1,000 chasing their losses on money spent on loot boxes, according to Children's Commissioner for England and Longfield. Now, this, in my opinion, this, I think, is not on the onus of the game developer, but of the parents. In my opinion, when I was young, if I wanted to spend money on FIFA, I never had it. I was never allowed to. But when my father gave me a credit card, he didn't give me a credit card. He gave me a pay-as-you-go card. Obviously now, when the way we are, if you're watching this, you might be in your 40s, 50s, 30s, 20s, wherever you are. We are now educated enough to maybe teach our children that. But my father didn't know too much about technology. He knew a bit, but he wasn't crazily on about technology. He knew about the internet, of course, but he didn't know how a lot of things doesn't work. For example, like FIFA points. But he knew that on a credit card there's no cap. So I think it's also the onus of the parents. How could a parent just give their child a credit card? I don't even understand that myself. Back in October, MPs called for them to be banned. Skim through this. Basically, Microsoft Nintendo force games to disclose likely particular items. However, currently the packaging only. However, currently video game packaging only sports and icon warning extra purchase. Okay, fine. Ms. Long says 29 gamers. Okay, so the field of study is only 29 gamers. Okay. 92% of children playing video games in the UK. Interesting. So it is a very interesting topic. How would you define this? Like, EA, if I was you, just make a battle pass and you'll make the money. It's probably what you could, the best thing they could do. I don't think they'll sell coins, because although it's a viable system, that's if they ban FIFA points. That is if. They will never ban FIFA points, in my opinion. But selling coins won't be beneficial to their system, because that's where they lose the money. They get their money for people being addictive and people taking the chance on packs where, even though statistically speaking it's almost next to impossible to pack anywhere near a decent player. I think if they do a battle pass, and if they do, for example, a system where you buy FIFA points but you buy certain tiers of packs, I think it'll be the same approach. So maybe you could buy a pack that you're guaranteed a 90 plus rated player, and by law, I think by definition they'll get around it, because although it is still gambling per se, you kind of know what you're getting, whereas in a gold pack you're just getting any player. I'm pretty sure any good lawyer could probably argue that if you're stating, I mean any good lawyer as it is could probably argue that you know what you're getting. They even say, I think a couple of years ago they were forced to say the exact percentage of what's the chance of getting a player, so they kind of solved that issue out. But I think now they're in a good position to be like, you know what, we're not doing anything wrong. And I think maybe they can ban loot boxes per se, maybe. But as I said, look, I'm pretty sure EA themselves, I don't know the whole situation legally, but if you open up a company in Vegas or whatever and you sell, just how you go buy PlayStation credit or membership online, they have the same system for FIFA points where you can buy FIFA points online under another jurisdiction. The same thing will apply. I think they'll have a system where you can upload it online on your account, not on the PS4. I think when you go on your PS4, Xbox, you try to buy it, an error comes up. But I think they'll just have a system where you can buy it another way, another means online, and you get a code, and you can enter that, and then you'll get it online, maybe on a browser. Yes, it will be a barrier, and I think obviously EA don't want to do that, because now you can just buy FIFA points with 2 clicks. I think that's the reason why they want it to be like this, because it's easy for you to spend 70 quid. You don't think about it. Just like that, 70 quid can be spent. Whereas this way, you have to actually literally go on, you see how much money you're spending, you're seeing the transaction, and you add like 2 more barriers. So instead of it being simple from your PS4, you have to go to your PC. But we know how it is with FIFA points. They might lose 30% of that market, but the other probably 70% are still going to buy it regardless. So that is something that is pretty interesting. I do think that my stance, in general rule of thumb, my stance is, look, I'm not against FIFA points per se. I think to buy draft points and pay into draft is actually a good idea. And I think, I don't like FIFA points at all, but I think, let's say when the game comes out, I'll give an example. I know a lot of YouTubers, people that watch YouTubers, a lot of them are kids. So for them, they can spend 9 hours a day doing a silver pack method to make 50 coins when a game comes out. Someone who's working, who's got a family, or someone like my uncles and family and friends that are older, they haven't got 9 hours on a Thursday when the game comes out on a working day to spend there doing a silver pack method for 50 coins. So for them, spending money is the right thing to do, because it's time efficiency. It's kind of like everything in life, time is money. So I don't think per se they should remove FIFA points. Maybe the way they regulate it, maybe they make it more clear about what you're getting, the actual odds. But even then, they're doing that anyway. Maybe if they separate the pack, so you know, when you get a pack, you're going to get an ultimate pack, you're going to get X amount of players, and you're going to get, let's say, 1 guaranteed player over 90 plus. I think that way they'll probably get around it. I'm not saying they will get through it, but that's what I would do if I was them. And I'm not even a lawyer or anything, but I'm pretty sure, I said, I'm not saying what I'm saying is right, but I'm pretty sure they got some of the best lawyers working for them, so I'm pretty sure they'll figure something out quite feasible. But that is something I just wanted to mention. But in any case, that's the way it is. Fingers crossed now. Time has now come where people are actually acting. I think when the UK market goes, Belgium and Netherlands, well, Belgium in particular for FIFA, is not as big as the market as the UK. When the UK market hits, I think because their profits are still increasing, they're still getting 50% growth year in, year out. It doesn't matter about Belgium going down per se, because they're still making money. But I think you take UK out of the equation, I think they'll probably go down for the first time in a couple of years, assuming they don't get the Beijing market, China market and everything. I know they're launching that thing in Beijing next year, and trying to promote the FIFA there. I was reading something about that, but yeah, something to note, food for thought, should I say. Thank you very much for watching. Peace out, boys.